Hey everyone, Andy Raphael from eTeknix.com, and mini-itx chassis seem to have gone a little bit quiet recently. So that's when we approached Lian Li and we said we want to look at your latest and greatest creation. This is where the Q38 comes in. So let's dive in and check it out. The Lian Li Q38 is a mini-itx chassis made from brushed aluminium. It comes in two colour varieties, black and silver, and we have the silver one here today. At over £100, this chassis is in common with most Lian Li cases. It's fairly expensive, but for a good reason: quality. Lian Li are known for their solid build quality, and the Q38 is no exception. Although we look at a lot of mid-tower and full-size cases here at eTeknix, mini-itx is a great form factor, and the Lian Li Q38 is a very nice example of it. To show off your system build, we have a large acrylic window on one side of the case. It would have been nice to see this as tempered glass at this price point, though it would have weighed down the case considerably. Regardless, you get a nice view of the interior here, along with the Lian Li decal. In a nice and fairly subtle approach to branding, this is actually tucked inside the chassis behind the side panel. Like most Lian Li chassis, there is no inbuilt case lighting, but then there doesn't need to be. The clean, crisp metal build of this case stands out just fine on its own. If you go for the silver variety as we have, you'll see that the case does reflect your component lighting in a very nice way, and this can be seen through the transparent side panel. The top mounted controls are slightly recessed and look stripped back and classy. You'll find two USB 3.0s, a headphone jack, and a microphone jack here. And of course the power button stands proud on the front of the case. The sides have no screws to attach them and instead use a push peg system for easy, quick removal. Around the right hand side of the case, the panel contains some welcome ventilation for the PSU, which in this case is mounted up front. It can be removed very simply, giving you access to your cables if you need it. Given the space limitations inherent in any small form factor case, flat cables are definitely welcome to ease the routing around here. It has to be said that the pattern used for ventilation on all panels of this case look very stylish and very clean. The top panel is also ventilated as well as toolless and can be easily detached to give you access to the fan and radiator mounts inside. This case is designed so that the feet can be removed and the whole thing converted from a tower to a desktop. Moving inside, space is nice and plentiful. There is room in here for a mini-itx motherboard, plenty of drives, a dual slot PCIe card, and a 240mm rad. If you go down the route of custom loop cooling, finding space for your pump and reservoir may be troublesome, so we'd probably stick to an AIO, or better yet, air cooling. The GPU has the full length of the chassis available to it, and there's room for a fairly large CPU cooler as well, with a height of up to 140mm supported. Your radiator goes up top in this case and is mounted on brackets just under the removable top panel. Thicknesses of up to 50mm are supported. The case natively supports SFX PSUs, but can accept ATX by removing a bracket. Regardless, the PSU is mounted towards the front of the chassis and is suspended from the top, which allows clearance for the GPU. It also means the hot air from the power supply will be directed upwards through the top panel vent and away from the major components. There is a vertical hanging hard drive mount capable of holding a single 3.5-inch drive. The whole mount can be removed from the chassis if not in use, giving you more space where space is at a premium. To fit your drive, it's easiest to remove this mount and reinstall it afterwards. There is also an SSD mount in the back of the chassis. Below the PSU is where you will probably tuck most of your excess cables. As this chassis incorporates an open design, there are no dedicated cable routing holes, and keeping things tidy can be quite difficult. Removing the right hand side panel can make building your system much easier in this regard, and at least the removable panels of the chassis mean you can access the interior from many different angles, allowing you to clean it up a little bit. I would recommend using a fully modular power supply so that you can keep it down to the cables you really need, as making a clean build here has more to do with hiding cables than simply routing them. Overall, this is a nice, compact, clean, stylish and functional chassis. It feels solid and great to handle. It also has a great deal of space for any mini-itx build, and the ventilation is excellent, with multiple vents allowing for unobstructed airflow to all of your components. As a personal fan of mini-itx chassis, I've got to admit I absolutely love the Lian Li Q38. It's sleek, it's simple, it's lightweight, What more would you want? So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe to get great video content like this directly to your inbox. Remember to give us a thumbs up and give us a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video. See you later.